Today is truly a great time to be alive because never before in history has it been easier for the average person to create wealth. Never before in history has the average person been able to go from nothing to something or from broke to millionaire in a period of time that was really never thought possible until the last 5 or 10 years or so. What I'm about to share with you guys are 5 ways to build wealth from nothing. So if you currently have no money and your goal is to become rich, this video is definitely for you. Starting with number 1. Now, if you want more money, the number 1 thing that you're going to need is knowledge. It's really that simple because the way that wealth is created is through value. And unless you have a really pretty face, you cannot give value to others without knowledge. And the more specialized the knowledge that you have, the better, because education is insanely important for anybody who is looking to generate a large amount of wealth. But it's not the kind of education that we are told to get growing up. Because I could go out there and I could read a bunch of books about the Kardashians, but all of that knowledge wouldn't make me a single penny in most cases. The type of knowledge that you guys need to learn must solve problems or must be able to be used in some way to provide great value to other people. And the more value that you can provide, the better. You see, if you're starting from nothing, or if you're somebody who doesn't have any money, all that you really do have is your time. And so your time should be spent acquiring more knowledge. But knowledge will only get you so far because at some point you experience diminishing return, whereby the new knowledge that you're learning will only increase your income by a little bit, if at all. And so it is at this point that the next logical step is experience, which is number 2. You see, once you have knowledge that will allow you to provide value to other people, nothing is really a better teacher than experience. But once again, you can't just have experience in anything. This experience must be for something that will generate income for you. I could sit here and I could gain all the experience in the world for useless activities that don't generate me any income, but at the end of the day, it's going to be all for nothing. Because to go from nothing to something, you need to have experience in the right things. You need to actually get out there and you need to actually do it. You need to actually spend time doing the thing that's going to generate you income. I could sit here and literally spend years learning how to become the best salesman, but if I never actually get out there and sell something, I'm never actually going to make any sales and I'm never going to generate any money. People often make the mistake of thinking that they can just learn something forever or gain knowledge forever without ever realizing that knowledge is utterly useless without action or without experience. I usually get amazing ideas coming to me all day long, every day, but if I never act on them, they're never going to be more than just an idea. And if you're looking to build wealth from nothing, this is one of the most important things. Now, next up is number 3. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that you can possibly make when you're trying to build wealth from nothing is trying to reinvent the wheel. You see, when I was first trying to create wealth from nothing, I was always trying to come up with some revolutionary new idea or some crazy new product or service that would forever change the world. But this is like trying to storm a castle through the front gate where the army is just sitting there waiting for you. In fact, the easiest path to success or to great wealth is to simply copy what's already been done. Now, when I say copy, I don't mean to go out there and to create an ice cream store and call it Baskin Robbins. What I mean is to find something that already works and to model your business or your way of making money off of that. Now, if we're talking something like YouTube, go out there and find a channel that's already proven and then model your channel off of that. It's really that simple. I know that I struggled personally with this at first because I thought that if I copied somebody else's business model, I was basically just an imposter. But once I moved past this limiting belief, this limiting way of thinking, things really changed for me for the better. You see, there are countless examples out there of business models that require almost no money and they don't involve posting rain videos on YouTube. What you have to understand is that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Things out there that are working for a reason, and all that you have to do to be successful is to simply copy those successful things and then capture a portion of that audience or portion of those buyers in order to make a ton of money. Number 4, if you are somebody who doesn't have a lot of money, the thing that you most likely do have a lot of is your time. And the most important thing that you can do is making sure that you use your time as effectively as possible. You see, people who have no money usually have a hard time just getting anything productive done. There's going to come a point where you realize that you might be working 8 hours a day, but for some reason your income is not increasing. And so working harder will only get you so far because at some point you'll realize that working harder just doesn't cut it. At some point, you will discover the 20% of activities that are getting you 80% of your results. And once you figure this out, you now must shift from just working harder to working smarter. Imagine you were to work 8 hours every single day building and growing an internet business. And once you've reached the point where you can't possibly work any more hours in the day, that is the point that you will need to think hard about the things that you are doing and how you can get the greatest results with the least amount of time. Some of the greatest billionaires and multimillionaires in the world today did not get to where they are because they worked harder. They got to where they are because they worked smarter. Sometimes we might work really hard, but if we're doing the wrong thing or if we're in the wrong business, no amount of hard work is going to get us out of it. No amount of hard work is going to dramatically increase our income. And it is in these situations that we must choose to work smarter rather than harder. Number 5, to build wealth from nothing. No matter who you are or what situation you're in, it all truly starts with solving problems or creating value for other people. In sports, why do you think it's the players who score the most points during the games that get paid the most amount of money? It's because they deliver the greatest value. You see, the world has something like 7 billion people on it now, and every single one of those people has problems that they need solved. And for some people, their problems are solved by watching an entertaining video after a long day at work. For others, their problems are solved through some form of education, such as a video teaching them how to become rich. And the greater the problem that you solve and the more people that you can solve it for, the more money that you will make in the end. It's really that simple. There's actually an equation for the total amount of money that you can make, and it is the size of the problem that you solve times the number of people that you can solve it for, and that's the amount of money that you can make. You see, many people in today's world are sad and they are looking for something to help them cope with that sadness. And this is why companies that sell alcohol and shows like the Kardashians are so incredibly popular, because most people are simply looking for an escape. And most problems at their core actually boil down to either entertainment or education, meaning people either want to be entertained and they want to have a good time, or they want to learn some type of knowledge that will help them solve a problem that they have. So the more that you can solve people's problems for them, the wealthier that you will ultimately be. And for me personally, I get a great satisfaction out of solving people's problems with both entertainment and education. Sometimes I'm not always the best at the entertaining side of things, but I'm usually pretty good at the education part. So once you've decided what problems you can solve for people, the next thing you have to figure out is the vessel, or how you can deliver that value to people. With the help of the internet, there are more ways now than ever before to deliver value to other people, and my preferred method is obviously through videos on YouTube, but there are definitely many other options out there. Social media has made it so incredibly easy to figure out what problems people have, and it also makes it easy for you to solve these problems for them. But this is where the creative part comes in, and this is the hardest part of all of it, because the creative mechanism that you use to solve other people's problems is basically your entire business model, and it's the thing that you have to figure out on your own. But if you follow these 5 tips, I promise you that you'll be well on your way to building wealth from nothing faster than you ever thought possible. But if you choose to ignore these tips, then really, at the end of the day, there isn't a whole lot that I can do for you. And with that said, my name's Julian, and until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching.